Testing audio. Let's test one more thing. Back to it. So okay. Looks like video is OBS monitoring it. So secondary video is coming up. Audio's looking good. Chat is up. Right. One more monitor to test. And then we'll get to some quick announcements. All right. Good. Looks like we're pretty good. Okay, so we are day 569 of The Journey Begins. We are in the Journey Begins realm. We're doing Minecraft. We're over at Inkwood, mining some tools before we do some more digging around the ravine and looking for some copper to do some more work on our tavern over here. So we'll probably do a little bit of that, and then we haven't been back to Overmorrow in a while, so we might save the last 5-10 minutes or so stream to go back there and take some of the dirt and stone back with us. We don't have any shulker boxes with us, so we need to go back to Overmorrow to get those anyway. We are live on TikTok, Twitch, and YouTube, trying to make an affiliate on Twitch and 1,000 followers on TikTok with a stopover at 500. So if you like story-backed builds, feel free to stick around and like and follow. And if you really like it, feel free to share it out. And for anyone that's been around, you can see we changed our hand cam. We still have it there. We just have the ability to manually toggle the hand cam and our new cat cam. No cat currently there, but at some point I'm sure they'll take a nap. So we're planning to leave that up for a little bit, and after we kind of get that dialed in a little better, then make a hotkey for it so we can switch between the hand cam and that. There we go. Little enticement. That white balance is a little off. Let's see. This one. Okay. Oh. Filters. Let's see. Oh, that's effects. Actually don't know. Which one do we want? Definitely not that one. Color correction. In case anybody's wondering, we're going through the color correction in OBS to kind of make the video a little bit clearer. Yeah. That's pretty good there. It's actually just that a little bit. Okay. I think that looks pretty good. A little bit better anyway. Anyone that's good with color editing and streaming and video, feel free to chat in there. That is something I want to get a little better at. I don't know that I would ever be a professional level, but be able to do a little on my own until I'm able to work with professionals. But like the DaVinci Resolve editing, the color editing, audio engineering, enough to make the streams good. Some basic editing so things aren't too bad, and then when it's viable, be able to pass it on to a professional to polish it and make it look professional. And I think we're at a point where we can sleep and do some work because we're not fully mended, but we're close enough. Good to be back. So we're close to 10 minutes in. We'll probably go to a little less than 11:30 or so. Or yeah, a little less than 11:30 or so. Do we have any? I do have some of that. Oh, but we need to go drop off our stuff. Our bows, because we don't need the bows. So we can do that real quick. And then we'll bring the dirt back over and run in. But we need to sign off by 11:30 because we do have a book writing meeting to go to. And we want to be on time for that. And I need to go through the message board there. Update myself there. All right, I think we're good there. Because on that, we have 3 writing projects. One is the Substack that's going to be like a weekly update of our progress here, focusing on the build progress with touches of element of the story writing, which is one of the other books writing projects, where we're writing a fantasy book and then building the world in Minecraft so that you could kind of follow along. So it's not about Minecraft or anything in Minecraft, just a way to walk through it. Instead of trying to create a bunch of assets and doing it in like Godot or something like that. Which it's at some point, game wouldn't be out of the question, but just not something we have the time or ability for just yet. And the third project, which is the one that we're highest priority right now, is unrelated and just a general mystery. Yeah. So we want to attend the meeting and make sure we can hopefully stick to our goal of having it done by November. I don't know if it will quite be published by then, but ideally we have it written, and if we can, our stretch goal would be to have it published by then. But once it's written, it shouldn't be too much longer to actually get it published. Just checking a few other little boxes to make sure we're on a good track. Okay. Good. All right, I think we made it down to 50. All right. And we have a lot of dirt. So I say around the 40-minute, maybe 45-minute mark is when we'll head back to Overmorrow to drop off some of our our dirt and whatnot over at Overmorrow. Interesting. We have a little pool in here. Guess we can fill this in. So we don't have any sponges on us, and I don't want to have to go get them. So, much do we still have some durability on our shovel, so we can get rid of this gravel here. Oh, it looks like our audio monitoring is coming up. Right. Or are we connected to? Nope. So it looks like we're still not. We're gonna have to reset our Chromebook to get our audio monitoring back up there. Using our pixels to monitor the audio, we have it hooked up to our phone to get the stream side. Because in OBS, well, we have three options, I guess, of monitoring. So one is directly off the mic, which would let us know if the audio is going through at all, but we lose the filtering. We can do it through OBS, but that adds, and that's the microphone is real time. So it's just like, out of your mouth straight into your ear. OBS has a couple millisecond delay. And for me, it's just enough that it's distracting. So it's coming back like mid-word. And monitoring the stream itself also has a delay, but it's a second or so delay, maybe a little bit more. And that's actually long enough that it starts coming back after I finish a word. So it's not as distracting, and I can tell that audio is going through, get a sense of if the filter's working, cutting out the noises and whatnot, and the mouse click frequencies and things like that. And yeah, there we go. All right. Let's get this going. Get out the gravel. And there we go. Guess we can. There we go. We'll turn the hand cam on while we're waiting for our subject to back and take up their cat bed. Maybe we'll cut a few lines at this like 48 and maybe try to get down to 50. audio back. There we go. Oh, that's a nice line. This will get us pretty far, actually. So this would be a good option. So we can maybe take this down even to 40 so that we have a good indicator of how deep we need to go. Probably good to go back to Overmar too, because we've gone through a stack of rockets now, and we have 2 more on us. But we'll go through this fairly quickly as we're going back and forth between there being here. Oh. Okay. This is also a measuring thing here too. So I think up there we have our little lava bucket. So this goes down all the way to bedrock. So that when we go down to the cavern down there, we can see kind of the outline of Overmarl from the cavern. So we can tell when where we're digging and whatnot down there, which we haven't done a lot of, but it is useful to know that we're not digging under the city so much, unless we're actually, trying to build something. All right. Okay. And our schedule. So we try to stream during the week, starting 10 a.m., sometime between 10 a.m. and 11 a.m. every day. On Saturdays, it's usually a start time of somewhere around 2 to 3 p.m. Pacific time. And Sundays, it kind of varies. Usually shoot for that kind of 10, 11 a.m. start time. But again, sometimes it varies. But you can keep an eye on Blue Sky for actual go live announcements. And that's for at least one game. So we stream Minecraft every day. Fridays and Saturdays, we stream Satisfactory. So sometimes we'll switch it up and do Minecraft in the morning, Satisfactory in the evening, and sometimes we'll do it the other way around. And the same for Planet Crafter, which is on Sundays and Mondays. Sometimes it's in the morning, sometimes it's in, afternoon, evening. So we're just gonna switch it up depending on what we're in the mood for, or if anybody has any preferences, we'll try to accommodate those the best we can. And then Wednesday, as in tomorrow, is Wildcard Wednesdays, which we have been doing. Last week we didn't do it, but the 2 weeks prior we did Little to the Left. So I'm thinking we might do that again. We'll definitely do it again if Hart is around. They're the one that suggested it. Otherwise, we might do it, or we might pick a different game from our Steam library, but similar genre or similar vibe. So it might be like a Stardew Valley, or who knows, something along those lines. Did we give up everything already? I guess we did. Okay. We're gonna have to start taking some stuff back because we now have 5 chests of materials that we want to take back. So stone, diorite, dirt, mostly, with a little bit of other stuff in there. Did we have one with flint in it? I thought we had one with flint. Maybe that was we did, so we can put that in there. Oh, I don't know why. Well, we can always take rotten flesh back and trade that for emeralds. So, and then we'll put our extra coal. And then while we're thinking of it, we'll go grab some copper. Get a little experience for that. Drop it off. And then once we have 3 or 4 full stacks of copper blocks, then we'll start working on roof again. And the style of roof that we're doing, at least on the inn/tavern, is a mansard roof. And I'm leaning towards doing roofs in either all copper or a combination of making the roofs all copper or making the roof all like dark blocks like obsidian wool, black wool, things like that. So since it's Inkwood, having like an ink representation. I like the color copper too with the aging. So oh, we must have had either we landed on it, or I don't think mobs can do farmland, so we must have landed on it at some point. All right, I did not mean to do that. Oh, chest didn't change the. Interesting. I think if we would have put a block there, we would have changed the state of the farmland, but a chest did not change the state. Interesting. All right. And in addition to being the low key stream, we've had a few people say it helps put them to sleep, even a comparison to a Bob Ross. Although I would not say the talent, but maybe the quietness. And yeah, so if that's something that you're interested in, also another reason to stick around or know someone who could use that, spreading that around. I had another thought there, but I lost my train of thoughts. Oh, that's we're also intentionally going slow. So occasionally we'll mix in a little TNT or something to speed up a little bit of the process. But we're trying to do this so we have time to both think about the story, and then as we get more people in chat, being able to engage there and pay attention a little more, and just kind of relax in the act of mining. All right. Is this? I think that was our line there, but maybe we'll just take this side down. We know we need to get everything down to 40 before we move on to 30, so we'll just back and forth this a little bit and break it down into little sections. And yeah, if there's any questions about Minecraft that I'm able to answer, the story that we're working on here, other games that you want to talk about, potentially, especially if they're ones that might fit on our Wednesday streams, feel free to bring that up in chat. Legos and food are also good topics. Which, yeah, I mean, trying to prioritize the writing projects as I mentioned earlier, but I do have a Lego video recorded and I need to get it edited, and there's not a lot of editing and I don't do anything super fancy. It's mostly not really a time lapse, but it's kind of like a time lapse. taking the footage and then just speeding it up so you're not spending 20 hours or something watching a build. In this case, the video is probably an hour or less anyway, without speeding it up. It's a small kit, but we do want to get that to larger ones. Which that might be something that I consider on the Wednesday streams too. If we don't have a game that we want to try, we might do Lego building. I mean, we could stream it and record it because we record with a different camera, with the 4K camera. So we can put in a little bit better visual quality. Not that there's a super big difference, I guess, with the Legos, but I guess there is a subtle one. All right. But yeah, so I wouldn't mind doing those, but we'd have to adjust our setup to do the Legos. So we do that at a different table in our office, which is only, a foot away, but and we have our streaming PC is separate from our gaming PC, so it wouldn't be impossible. We'd be using a cat cam, so we'd have to move that around a little bit each time, but I guess that wouldn't be the end of the world. I know some music, like a Sony something for that, that allows streaming from it, because our current Lumen, it's Lumen, something like that, doesn't have the ability to stream. Which, if we get enough traction in the Legos, I don't mind buying a newer camera and one that has a detachable screen, so that I can kind of monitor it while it's being recorded, and also kind of see what's going out on stream. The streaming PC would be behind me, but that way I could at least see what's going to stream. I wouldn't be able to see when it's down, so yeah. I think that would require either moving the streaming PC, which would be a lot of work to make it be in a position where it can function both, or getting refurbished something cheap that we could use just for Legos. So more than likely, we'll just have to continue recording. But if there's a lot of interest in it, then we can definitely put more thought into how we can add Legos to our stream. I mean, I like the idea, because then it gives us a way to work on them in stream, so we're getting the streaming out of it and the recording. Versus now we're working on our streaming projects, and then we have to take extra time to work on the Lego projects. All of which is doable. It just depends on how much interest there is to allow us to be able to do this full time, and how many projects we can work on, and the quality of those projects. Because I do like putting the Lego on YouTube, just to have it preserved and kind of discoverable. The advantage of this doing the streaming and that is that the streaming doesn't really take any editing, so you at least get something out there, and you can edit whenever. But and if we ever got really big, we could always learn how to use DaVinci Resolve better, because I do like using it and learning about it, but also have a professional edit and teach us a little. Teaching just to satisfy curiosity, and the professional editing so that things look good and sound good. All right. So yeah, we're doing pretty good. We're about halfway through the stream. We're getting probably get like so 50 to 49, 48. So we'll get most of a layer done, and some sections we'll have down to 2 done, I guess. So a little bit of a slow process, but we are making progress, which is the important part. And again, as we mentioned earlier, we're trying to take a slow approach, show a little behind the scenes, like how much goes into the big projects that are survival projects, because we are Bedrock Survival. Granted, it would definitely be, the videos where you watch, a time lapse of, a giant statue or something coming in a few minutes, or no, I guess a few seconds, could probably be done in a fairly short time, within a day, even a few minutes, with depending on what tools we used. So something like Lightmatica, and then using tools that can scan pictures or objects and either turn them into 3D, or turn them into 3D and then turn them into a blueprint that Minecraft can use, that Lightmatica could use. And then even if you're using Lightmatica, you could either have it basically print the whole project, or at least give you a guide, and then you can do it yourself. As long as you have the resources on you. That, takes a little longer, but it's still pulling it from a external source. I mean, I guess you could, if you design it in creative, then that's a little different, but wait, did we land on top? We did. We landed on top of our happy guest. And not that any of those builds aren't impressive, and being able to use those tools is a skill. Just a different skill. So if I were trying to go through the story here and get things done really quickly, then I'd probably build an asset of those things, and use our Java version, load the seed into it, and use Lightmatica to place the assets in a world and treat it more like an AutoCAD kind of thing. But we are going for the slower Um, survival, doing it all in world. What else did we have that I wanted to put down? Oh, we did have that. Dirt and diorite. That was it, the coal. We wanted to put that in on. We went through all of our copper, okay. So we need to fortune this. So it works on our copper before it gets to our iron. Only 36. Ooh. Definitely not getting as much copper as we used to. $37. So yeah, we'll do another round of digging over here, and then we'll grab some dirt and head back to Overmar. And the reason we're not using the Happy Ghast for this part is they're really good at going up, but not down. Or, yeah, because you have to look down to go down. So they're good at going up, but not down. So we can go down once. Well, we can avoid how many of our go downs, and then as we come up, we can start texturing the walls here. So that's what we're saving the Happy Ghast for. Trying to mine from the back of a Happy Ghast is I guess it's okay if you're trying to mine above you, but not trying to mine down. You lose, 2 or 3 levels, so and it's slow. It doesn't have the dexterity of the player, so. It definitely has perks. We just not at a stage to use those perks just yet. Let's do this. Okay. There we go. So we're doing pretty good there. So 40. So we hit our 40-minute mark. So yeah, I think we're good there. So we'll do, like we said, finish this round of digging down here, grab some dirt, take it over back to Overmorrow. Make sure we remember to bring our shulkers so we can bring more of everything back, the dirt, diorite, and whole 9 yards. Whole 9 blocks. right. 48. Let's just go back and forth. Okay. Okay. Is it here? Okay, it is here. Okay. So we're just back and forth here. Oh, and then we can cut through here actually. All right. Oh, let's cut through here. I think this section over here is probably gonna be good. Oh. Wait, why did it? Oh, did that work? Okay, good. Whoop. Don't want to go all the way down there. I think we washed some of our coal down the cliff there. All right, so does that work? Did we get it all? Okay, there we go. Okay. Making the progress. So this section here, yeah, I think we'll try to get this here. We'll cut this line and then the section to our left, I think is what we'll try to get down. Yeah. I think they'd be good. We're at the 45 mark, so this is a good last little stretch thing. We'll grab our dirt, we'll head over to Overmorrow, and we'll be set for tomorrow to do some more terraforming at Overmorrow because we're nearly done with that. Maybe we'll take another look at our flower shop there. If nothing else, we can kind of get a feel for what materials we might want to have there. And then make a design day of that sooner or later. Hopefully sooner rather than later. Which is, I guess, one thing we haven't mentioned yet. We are trying to mix up our dig days and detail days. So we're trying to collect enough resources for builds that once we have the resources, we can spend a few days working on the design aspects of things. And if we get stuck or need a break, we can always go back to digging and get more resources for another project. There we go. Okay. We were trying to do it every other day, but I don't think we quite have the resources for that. So you'd spend a little time like working on this, and then having to gather trees at the inn here, tavern. So you have to cut down trees, come back, put a few down, cut down a few more. So I think it's better just to have the resources. And so I think this is going to look good. We'll have a few pillars going across the top. So as we have more resources, more trees and whatnot stacked up here. So where's our chest? Yes, we have a fair amount of trees now. So when we get the copper going, that'll be the wood type and copper, and then maybe we can figure out what kind of stone or maybe some other materials that we want to kind of weave in. We can always make edits later too, but I really want to get it kind of that 70% done. So it's all fleshed out. You look at it, you can tell what it is. It gives that uh, the feeling that we want it to have. All of that, and then if it's not at 100%, at least 70%, there. So we can look at it, and it'd be nice if it had this, that, or the other thing, and then we can, weave those in as we need a break from other projects. All right, so with that, I think we're gonna drop off some stone and pick up some dirt. Stone. Just gonna keep that. There's stone, so we'll take this. We'll take a lot of the dirt. Focus on the dirt for now. Here, so we'll do that. We'll take some dirt. So we need to drop off the copper, not copper, the granite and whatever that was, gravel. Oh. Is that everything? I think that's everything. Yeah, so now I need to grab a couple more dirt and then we'll head back. All right, so we're good now. All right, let's head back. And if you see, we'll take the high road in a second, but if you see here, this road goes back. So that's the road that connects our builds, and you'll sometimes hear me call it the storyline. So this is, the story is going to be more or less linear. So you could, you'd start off in spawn, do whatever there. Eventually there could be multiple roads out, one for each realm, but the third realm is where our story takes place. So you'd follow that road. Your first stop there, I guess there's some stop in the woods that we have, so we might put a little campsite or something. Then you stop. Then you stop at Inkwood, then you go to the Gold Temple. Well, you go to Inkwood, and then Inkwood Library, and then the Gold Temple, and then to Oasis City. Then the Garden Temple, Waters Bay. Oh, ooh, this looks interesting over here. Yeah, we took a little detour. There's our storyline there. And here is Overmorrow coming into focus. I really want to do something with that cavern. That looks like something that could be interesting. All right, now we are back to Overmorrow. And all of these are full of stone. Okay. Did we? Guess we could put that there. Okay. So we've got a few minutes left, so maybe we'll do a little bit of terraforming, not much. I'm gonna save most of it for next time. And little bits like this where it's at the edge, we're not worrying about that too much. We'll flower that up and put parks and buildings and whatnot. But we want to get most of it to be, you know, the dirt green as our foundation, and then we'll add hills and whatnot. And Overmorrow is more of a planned city, so it's gonna be more flat. And I think it all might be flat. I don't know that how much he'll add to it, other than like little things like that where a park is. Because we wanna have contrasting styles in the cities too. So this one's level, the other Inkwood would not be. So, you know, that kind of thing. We don't want all the cities to be the same. We want them to have their own kind of character. So having some be totally flat, like planned cities. So Overmorrow would more or less be planned, be like a, you know, the origin city. So kind of like a, you know, Romulus and Remus and Rome kind of thing. Not that Rome is a grid, but it could be that idea of it's the starting city, and in this case, the starting city is planned. You know, so the architect or builder laid things out in this grid, and people just went with it. The villagers just went with it. And then Inkwood would be, you know, maybe some of the villagers created another city a little farther away, and different ideologies, whatever the case might be, and that's how Inkwood and the other places came about. And Barter's Bay too. Barter's Bay really leans into that. It needs a lot of work to kind of fix it up, because we were very much doing like one layer thick. Oh, thank you, Emily. Thank you for the follow. How's your Tuesday going? Indeed, play any Minecraft or other games? But yeah, we were building shops and just kind of coloring the outside of them, but we weren't giving enough depth to the walkways and things like that. Treating blocks wider than they are. Like a 1 block walkway isn't much of a walkway. So there's things like that as Barter Bay has progressed, we've learned and tried to plan a little more accordingly for. So I guess we have enough. So it'd be several streams to correct some of those things. And we're doing so many projects, well, because we're trying to write a story, but also it gives us something to bounce in between as we, you know, might get stuck or need a change of scenery. And as we know, we're going to learn things to keep in mind, building techniques, decorative techniques, because our background is not art. More comfortable with binary than paintbrushes. But something that we still want to get better at. Yeah. So that's kind of the reason to slow that down. And we also want to have more community involvement as we get into some of the decorating phases, some of the phases that are details, but that aren't part of the story necessarily. So a little building that will add to the world building but aren't mentioned in the story. So I wanna do things like that. So if that is interesting, feel free to follow and stick around. Anyone else that might like that, let them know. They're very backseat gaming friendly as well. I know some other streamers don't like that, so do be mindful of them. But in here, it's perfectly fine. I may not take all the advice that I get, but you're welcome to give it and make suggestions. All right. Yeah, we're doing pretty good. Oh, and we're almost at time, so this is going to work out really nice. We're going to we brought back all this dirt. We're probably halfway through using some of it because I should probably make a quick place button on our cyborg 2, or our cyborg 2 also. So it's one of the things when we're using our M570 Logitech trackball mouse, it works pretty good to select if I take the time to press, but if I'm in a hurry as I'm pressing and rotating the mouse wheel, that's when I'll like looking at the dirt and carrot, as I'm pressing, I'll rotate and then it will replace the carrot with the other item. Okay. Okay, so that's good there. Wait, what is this? Why do we have a... Okay, that's good enough there. Move another way down there and wait on over there. These, I don't know, probably keep one of those, maybe build a building around it, or maybe it's 2 buildings and there's a little alleyway in between here. Again, this is kind of the things that we were doing in Barter's Bay that we were forgetting to take into account. We light this up and I'll just show that. So saying that there's an alleyway here means that this would have to butt up against the back of this wall. So this line is taken by a wall, and then that limits the texture on the back side. The texturing has to be on the inside, and the outside is kind of limited. Does the same thing over here, so that means you have 1, 2, 3 blocks for a walkway. So 3 blocks for a walkway, and if any texturing from the walls encroaches on that, then you're reducing that to 2 or 1. Which I guess 1 here isn't so bad. Like it's just like a little narrow walkway in between buildings because it's not like a street. But those are the kind of things that we're trying to get better at and we're mindful of. Because it seems wide if you're counting this, because that's 5 wide. But your wall would run here, not here. And then a flat wall doesn't have a lot of texture to it, so if you're trying to give it character, like you can hang trapdoors and stuff, and that doesn't take up too much width. But if you're putting, well, blocks as walls and then putting actual wall blocks, that takes up more space. So in any case, it'd be easier to see once we get to that point. But if you watch streamers like Joel Duggan, who streams on Twitch and also also posts on TikTok, um, and does Minecraft with the artist eye. I learn a lot there. Not something I'll ever be able to get to, but I am trying to be more conscious of not making everything square and not not making every architecture style be brutalist or brutalist inspired. So this wall here is going to be our horizon wall, which is why it's staggered like that. We're just trying to like slowly build up the presence of this wall and get a feel for the height and everything else that we want on it. So you can see, I think it's 150 is going to be our standard height, and then as we hit mountains, then we'll have it kind of go up and over. Because I don't want to have to keep taking down tall mountains, like leveling them, or at least leveling them to the height of the wall. So I'm less concerned about it being a uniform height. And I think 150 is probably a decent enough height, because we could take it up to 200 or something like that and make it more uniform. Or even, like 300 something and, have it almost be world height. But I don't know if we really want to go that far. I mean, maybe when we get closer to the world border, which is way off, and we'd have to be really big stream at that point. That because it's what is it 30 million in total or 30 million each way? Either way, it would be 15 to 30 million blocks in one direction, and we're at 0 now, and it's taking even with the Lytra, it would take a few minutes to get. It takes a minute or so to get to Inkwood, which is 2,000 blocks away. So millions of blocks would be a trek. We'd have to plan for what we're taking out that direction. Probably load up. We'd have to really secure everything that's in our inner chest, because we'd have to load up our inner chest with shulker boxes full of stuff. Load up our inventory with shulker boxes full of stuff to make it worth it, because coming back would be a hard option. But anyway, we're at our hour mark, so we're going to hop off, get ready for our book writing group. See what we can learn from that. And yeah, so with that, thank you, Emily, and everybody, for all the likes and follows. Very much appreciated. Everything to help us grow our auditorium is great. And thank you for joining day 569 of The Journey Begins. We'll see you tomorrow for day 570 when the journey continues. And tomorrow will be likely a double stream, Wildcard Wednesday, so I'm not sure what our other game will be yet, but keep an eye on Blue Sky or follow our stream to find out. And once again, we'll see you tomorrow when the journey continues. And if you want to find more of what we're doing, you can check us out on linktree/mindtripmedia. That will be on our outro screen as well. That will have links to our TikTok, Twitch, YouTube, as well as our Blue Sky. So if you have trouble finding us anywhere, give Linktree a look and you'll find all of our online presence there. So once again, have a good rest of your Tuesday, and we'll see you tomorrow when the journey continues.